Welcome, Alexis, to QUP's Fashion and Beauty Expert Interview Series. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, to kick us off, tell us a little bit about you.
About me, goodness. So I'm born and raised in Utah. I have two little boys. They're crazy people. I've been
As
with
they
my
all,
husband for what?
they all are little
Oh
boys.
yeah. I'm like, two boys, please give me a girl next. I need some balance.
Right
um,
in the place. Yes.
yeah. I've been with my husband for 11 years. I've owned two salons. I've been in the hair industry for let's see, almost 10 years now. So I've owned two salons. I've managed a few. Been an instructor in the industry. Traveled and educated, just lots of stuff with that, I guess. But
Yeah, you have a lot of experience. You've done a lot of things.
I get bored, I guess. I get very bored easily.
So, what made you interested in hair, like to begin with? What got you into that?
Honestly, I used to think before, I never really had an interest in it, but I used to think that everyone who went to hair school was just like dumb girls. I don't know if I'm being honest, or the ones that just wanted to go be stay-at-home mom but do hair out of their house, which is now I'm like, oh, that's fine. But back then I was just like, what? You don't want to work? I don't know, because I've worked my whole life. So, but I grew up in the theater. My grandparents owned a theater here, and I grew up acting, and I wanted to actually go out to California and be a movie star. But I was like, yeah, I'm not going to auditions. I'm not doing that because I'm not doing that. I don't need to do that. So I was like, well, if I go to hair school and do hair and makeup for movies, I can maybe get in that way because it is kind of all about who you know.
Right.
And then I also kind of wanted to be a lawyer, two very opposite things, and also go for psychology, to school for psychology. And so I was like, well, if I go to hair school, I can either move to California and do hair and makeup, or I can go to school and work through school, and make my own schedule and everything. So it was kind of one or the other. I actually still didn't want to do hair, but I danced as well. So I always did hair and makeup for my dance, the girls I danced with, for my friends going to school dances, for my grandma's theater. I always did hair and makeup for that. So I kind of was good at it, but I never thought of doing hair. Like I didn't think of it that way, but so it's kind of weird how it ended up being like that. But I had a friend in hair school and she's like, I love it. So I was like, well, I don't know what I want to do. So maybe I'll just go to that. So I did. And that's kind of how I got into it.
Yeah. Well, then it sounds like you took off with it because
Yeah.
you've got businesses and you've run a salon and or so multiple salons.
Yeah. And honestly, I always feel like I have not done that much because I feel like, I don't know, like, I guess you get that kind of imposter syndrome. I don't know if that's what I have sometimes, but I feel like people are like, oh my gosh, that's so great. And I'm like, is it? I don't feel like I've done anything amazing. I mean, I'm proud of myself for doing all that I've done, but I don't know.
I think that's actually really common. People that are super reflective and that are really knowledgeable about what they do, they tend to think they're not
Yeah.
because there's so much that because you are so knowledgeable, that also teaches you that there's so much you still don't know.
Right.
You're gonna always learn more.
Yeah.
So it does kind of turn into this like, oh, I don't really know that much or I haven't done that much or I've got so much more to learn and which is true. You always have more to learn, but I think we sometimes downplay how experienced we really are.
Yeah, for
Because of
sure.
that.
I
Yeah.
do that a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you have a lot of experience. You have a lot to share. So I mean, you've owned salons, done you've done the craft, been involved in the craft yourself, hands on, and
Yeah.
taught, and there's a lot there that you've done.
Kind of did
What's
all of
been
it.
your favorite? What has been your favorite part? Like, do you like running business, or do you like
Um,
doing the work yourself, or is there or teaching, or what's kind of stood out to you?
Gosh, I love all of it for different reasons. I think so. When I opened a salon, okay, so a little backstory. Well, not really backstory, but a little about me. I hate drama. So I picked the industry with probably the most drama. naturally. I hate drama. I literally left one high school to go to another high school because my friends had so much drama. I wasn't involved in it and stuff, but I was like, you guys have so much drama. I'm just going to go over here and to this school and dance and just get away from you. Like, I just hate it. And so going into a salon, like hair school, everyone had drama. I was like, I loved hair school because I just stayed out of the drama. And all the salons I worked at, I loved them all and I loved all the people I worked with, but just it's inevitable. You're going to get cattiness with girls, whether they mean it or not, it just happens. And I was like, I'm so tired of this. Like, I just go in, do my job and leave, but you can feel the energy in the salons if they're just not great, you know, or there is drama between the girls or whatever, just the tension, and your clients can feel it. And I didn't like that. So I actually left the very last salon I had worked at before I opened one, and I just got a suite by myself, and it was great, but I'm also a very social person. So I missed that. And I was like, everything happens for a reason. And it kind of just fell into my lap. So I opened a salon and I was like, I'm creating this culture where everyone is welcome. Everyone, the client and stylist, there's no drama, and I am not afraid to fire people. And I feel like that is very common in the industry where salon owners try to please everybody. And then they won't fire people when they're bringing the morale down. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not for that. So I let people know when I hired them, like, this is where I'm at. And I set those boundaries from the beginning. And so I actually ended up hiring a really great group of girls, and I hired slowly. I mean, they say hire slowly, fire fast. So I hired pretty slowly, just trying to, I had maybe in the 3 years I owned a salon, maybe 3 girls that were not, one that was kind of drama, and I was going to fire her, and trash took herself out. Just kidding. That sounds terrible, but she ended up quitting anyway. So it was good. But the other 2 just didn't fit in as much because they were their own issues, not because they weren't welcome or anything, but never really anything crazy or bad, which was good because I wanted to set that culture. Like, don't have drama here. Like, everyone's welcome, and everyone, all the clients felt comfortable. They could come in dolled up or roll out of bed, and they would not like look at other girls and feel like, oh, I didn't get ready today. Everyone in here is judging me. Nobody felt that way. And that's what I loved. So I loved owning a salon because of that. I loved teaching because I loved seeing people grow and progress. And I do feel like I have a lot of wisdom to share, not just in the industry, but in life. And so I have a lot of street smarts, I guess. So, and I feel like you need some of that to grow in this industry as well. So I loved teaching because of that. And teaching kind of made you feel good sometimes because you're like, oh, I do know what I'm talking about. Like, so I'd teach and be like, oh, I am smart. Like, and you learn a lot when you teach. So I was learning as well. So I don't know. I love all of it.
Yeah, that's so very true. And what's good about you teaching is because you have so much background. You know, you bring a lot to the classroom, I would imagine. You know, when students are asking questions, you have answers.
Yeah.
You have that so much experience.
I felt like I did. I felt like, and even though I was like, I'm like a tough love kind of person and I don't put up with crap, but I was like the favorite because, I mean, I'd have students be like, oh, I'm your favorite. I don't need to do cleaning jobs today, right? And I said, no, you are my favorite. Now you have to do 2 cleaning jobs. Go do it. And they still loved me. You know, it was just like, I'm not favoring you because I like you more. Not that I like picked favorites or anything, but you connect with people different. It's okay.
Right.
So that was so good that I was the favorite.
Well, that was actually going to be one of my questions, was what can clients expect? You know, when you're teaching and you're talking about, you know, either people that work for you or people, like I said, people you're teaching. What do you teach about working with clients? You know, what would be advice that you would give someone getting into industry and they're just starting to work with clients? And, you know, what is the key there?
Be yourself. I mean, and I've kind of lived that way my entire life. My mom taught me to be myself and embrace what makes me weird. And I'm a freaking weirdo. And I love it, but embrace what makes you different. And if on social media, that's like our probably number one way of getting clientele is through social media, because it's free and it's easy and everyone has it. But if you're not authentic and real on social media, you're going to attract people that you don't like as your clients. And so I'm just me. I've always just been me. I am just myself on my social media, and I've just attracted people who are like me or who I get along with everybody. So I I'm a different breed, but there are people that, I've had in my chair that I'm like, yeah, we definitely don't mesh, but this girl over here, you would do so good with her. And I'm not offended if clients leave me, or stylists at my salon. I wasn't offended. I was like, I don't want you here if you don't want to be here, but be yourself, because you will attract like-minded people or like people.
Right.
So it's kind of, they say the same thing with like hair. Like if you don't like doing perms, don't post pictures of perms, because you're going to attract that. So if you're not being yourself and you're being fake through social media, you're going to attract people who are not like you and you don't like them in your chair.
Right. That's great advice. I think you see that in all industry,
Exactly.
Really being yourself. Yeah.
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 So
that's a great segue into life words of wisdom.
probably the same thing. Just be yourself. Don't care what other people think. Like, you will, I don't know, your life is going to be so hard if you care and live it based on what everyone thinks of you. Because they're not living your life. So why are you, I don't know, just, it drives me crazy seeing people, do that, and setting boundaries for yourself with other people so that they don't affect you in that way. That was a terrible answer.
No, that's a great answer.
Like thinking while I'm talking, I need to think and then talk.
No, I think it's a great answer. I think it's very true. It makes you happy when you can be yourself.
Yeah,
Totally.
I've just seen it. I had to grow up really young, and I've just been very observant, and I just watched my whole life, and I've learned a lot of what not to do from other people. I've also had my own lessons, but that's just one of the biggest ones, is like, I see these people just try to do these things to make other people happy. And I'm like, but it's not making you happy. Why would you do that? Like, it doesn't, and
right.
Just not caring what people think. Like I always say, I'm like, I don't care if people don't like me. I care why they don't like me. Mm-hmm. If it's something I did and I hurt them, I care and I want to fix it or no. But if they don't like me because they just don't like me, then that's not my problem,
Right. And you're not going to please, none of us will please everyone all the time. Like, it's not going to happen. And really loving yourself and being yourself, being your authentic self all the time. But I agree. Well, teach you how to set boundaries and just really do it in a good way. Yeah. No, I thought you had an excellent answer.
I feel like it was like,
that's a great way to end, a good thing to end on. So closing us out, to our listeners, if you would like to learn more about Alexis or book an appointment, you can reach her at QUPstyle.com. The link is listed in the comments of this post. And thank you so much, Alexis, for being here and sharing your expertise with us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.